Yo, what is good, everybody? It's Tristan with My Stock Life here for another news report video for you guys. Before we get started, I'm going to let you guys know what's going on. AMC is going absolutely crazy. Y'all keep hitting my DMs. Tristan, why are you not in AMC? Tristan, why are you not in AMC? I'm going to give you my exact reasoning behind it right now because analysts are saying this, CNBC is saying this, everybody and their mom and every dad and their dog is saying this. We need to get an AMC. I don't like buying at the top, even if it's shares, especially not if it's options. If you guys want to play AMC options right now, I think it is just way too overpriced, and the top is undefinable. You don't know where it is because we're now approaching all-time highs with AMC, and it's not fundamental whatsoever. We're not buying the stock off of fundamentals whatsoever. AMC's in major debt, and it's like over $5 billion in debt. So to recoup those losses over the next 10, 15, 20, 30, 40 years, I don't see AMC doing it. So I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of my unique perspective over why I'm not an AMC and just what's happening inside of the. I think it's manipulation at the end of the day. People keep saying retail traders this, retail traders that. I really think it's hedge fund versus hedge fund trying to knock each other out of the water and just start synergizing all the money into one location and become like massive conglomerates. So I found this really interesting article from CNBC talking about what's just happening with AMC. And since the posting of this article, AMC is up another 13% after hours. That's what I'm saying. I could be way up on this trade if I had made it where I wanted to, but right now it's way too far ahead. And instead of FOMOing out and putting my money at risk, I don't like the risk reward. And I'm going to let you guys know exactly why right now. And just before we get into it, My Stock Life is not financial advisors. We do not make recommendations. This is purely for entertainment purposes. So without further ado, let's get straight into the video. I'm going to just go through. I have some things highlighted right here. Meme stock AMC extends rally, jumps 20% as a theater chain sells new shares to an investor. This is just like January when GME was going off the chain. It just kept going and going and going until it didn't go anymore. And AMC, I feel like I can't even say because you can't even look at the fundamentals. You can't even look at the chart. It's defying all rules here. There's no technical setup. There's no fundamental setup. It's just straight up off of hype. And who knows if the hype is real or who knows if the hype is false? Who's actually buying all these stocks? I don't think it's retail investors. I don't think that it's some kids on Robinhood. I got a decent sized bag. They're just going crazy in AMC. I do hear more and more on the street that people are buying into AMC, buying into AMC, buying into AMC. I'm just letting you guys know, be careful. Know what you're trading. Know where the top might be. Scale out if you're already in profits. Diamond hands, I don't recommend it. I don't recommend it. Nobody ever went broke taking profits. You're going to hear me talk about that time and time and time again. You want to start growing your account piece by piece instead of home run for home run, because when you strike out, it hurts a lot worse if you went for a bunt. So shares of AMC Entertainment surged again Tuesday after the theater chain sold more than 8 million shares to an investment firm, the latest in a series of capital raises for the struggling company turned meme stock. Keyword struggling company. You guys forget these people were out of business for the longest time, like a cool year, and they finally just got opened up. There's some great things in the article talking about how much they're making on Memorial Day weekend and the 4-day weekend, and it's actually really surprising numbers to see that much get into the industry and how much it flowed back in to the economy of the movie industry. But as COVID continues on and the competition from streaming websites and now movies are going to be extended to the same day, I don't see AMC as a long-time running company, and this is why. So it raised $230 million through a stock sale to Mudrick Capital. They didn't even hold on to the stock for like a week. They let it go immediately. They picked it up and sold it off. It was a bag switch. So this is what I was talking about with the manipulation. They just moved it over. They weren't trying to hold on to it for any sort of substantial profit. They just really wanted, like, what is this, like 22.6%? If you're playing with hundreds of millions of dollars, yeah, you want 22% of that. So shares were up 22% when the market closed, and they're up even more again, 14% more on top of that. So I mean, if you're trying to short this thing, I think you're crazy. I'm just staying away from it. I like looking at it for examples of how crazy this time has been. And when we come back, 6 months, 12 months from now, we can look at it like, this is just totally nonsensical. But some people are playing it in the chat and they're having great success. Good to you. I just personally do not like the risk reward associated with it because it's in such uncharted territories and you don't know where the top is going to be. There's great videos dropped by the boy LB talking about the GME squeeze and how he saw that coming. If you want a little bit more detail on how he read that, go ahead and follow him. It's Stocks with LB. I'm going to actually get him to do a video before we get going here, or after we get going here another day. So we see here AMC's business was effectively halted by the pandemic. The movie theater shut down with most of its country for months, and major studios delaying releases during the pandemic. However, the stock became a favorite of Reddit traders and have seen wild swings in recent months. Once again, there is a lot of influx from Reddit, but I don't think Reddit has that much of a say-so in the market as much as people think. Like analysts, CNBC, they keep referring to Wall Street bets, Wall Street bets, Wall Street bets. I think it's more big whales that are just looking and not actually engaging in Wall Street bets and just playing the markets accordingly. But you know, who am I? This is just an opinion of a retail trader myself. What can you say? So the company has taken advantage of those price surges by selling additional shares to raise cash. The stock is up more than $1,000% year to date. If you own a company and your stock is up 1,000% year to date, you better sell. You better sell about 1.7% of your available shares. That's crazy if you don't. Before crypto was coming out, and we have these moonshots where they just go completely sky high. 1,000% on a stock was not necessarily unheard of, but like penny stocks, like sub penny stocks. This is where that was happening. If you wanted to get 1,000% return on your money years ago, you would have to wait years to do so, and it had to be some sort of like super speculative growth stock or like a tech company that was going for filing with the FCC or something along the lines of that. But nowadays, it's kind of just commonplace to see something go 1,000% on hype alone, whether it's BBY, Nokia, AMC, GameStop. So this is going to be such a funny time to talk about in the future, and I'm so happy to be a part of this with you guys right now and give you guys a little bit of perspective. The dramatic price swings could also be due to a short squeeze in the stock, which is caused by traders who have bet against the stock, buying shares to limit their losses. If you guys don't know, if you have a naked put, you have infinite amount of losses available, and if it starts going against you, you need to start buying stocks so you can then cover your losses. And that's what causes the squeeze to go up. AMC has around $5 billion in debt and needed to defer $450 million in lease repayments as its revenue largely dried up during the pandemic. Whether you want to argue for or against having leases instead of owning your real estate, it just depends on what type of business model you want. Personally, if I was running the business, I would want to own, just because, like, look at McDonald's. They're not a restaurant company, they're a real estate company, and AMCs are all over the planet, The fact that they don't own their assets is something that they can't sell. They can't sell a lease. They can't sell that if they need to liquidate stock, if they need to liquidate assets. So this is why they're in $5 billion in debt. They couldn't make their payments of over $500 million over the last year. Theaters were closed for months to help stop the spread of the virus, and when the company reopened its doors, few consumers felt comfortable attending screenings, and movie studios held back numerous leases. Now, as vaccination rates rise and the number of coronavirus cases decline, consumer confidence is returning to movie theaters. It spiked. Not to mention, studios are finally releasing new content. For the full 4-day Memorial Day weekend, the North American box office tallied nearly 100 million in ticket sales. Huge. That's reopening in its prime right there. Do we keep the same pace, though? This is the question I want you guys to ask. If we come out of the gate swinging hot, are we going to continue swinging hot? Or are we going to fall back on the habits that we developed inside of the pandemic? This is a question you need to think about when you're trading your stocks. Is this going to be a long term? Is this going to be short term? Is it going to be an intermediate term? Where do you hold and how long do you hold for? Think about it. Every dollar that you earn and you put into the stock market is hard-earned money. It's hard-earned money. Be careful with your dollars. Be very careful. Risk management. Don't blow up your account. There's no reason to. There's absolutely no reason to. If you're trying to make it all in one trade, you're probably not going to end up on the right side. So this is, you might become a millionaire off this. You might. Probability says it's probably not. And I like to play with probabilities. I like to have it on my side. I like to play spreads, and I like to have it in my favor. If anything, if I can have 51%, I'll take it over 49 any day of the week. And I know you guys probably would too if you were to think about it before you jumped into that situation. So, and this is also something that the CEO comes out and says. This is so hilarious. The security filings filed on AMC, which closed Friday with an 11.8 billion market cap, also has a risk warning for investors. Our market capitalization, as implied by various trading prices, currently reflects valuations that diverge significantly from those seen prior to recent volatility, and they're significantly higher than our market capitalization immediately prior to the COVID-19 pandemic, meaning they weren't making that much money. People weren't going to the movies that damn much before the pandemic hit, and they're still not going to the movies that damn much to have an $11.8 billion market cap on a company that's $5 billion in debt, with $450 million in deferred payments on leases, not even owned properties, leases that they can't liquidate if they needed to sell their assets. So I would love to hear what your guys' comments are, but even the CEO of the company is saying, if you purchased our Class A common stock, you could incur substantial losses if there are declines in the market prices driven by a return to earlier valuations. And this statement right here is one of the reasons I am not in AMC. There's no technicals. There's no fundamentals. It is purely hype. And if I'm going to get in on a hype stock, I want to get in at the beginning of the hype, not near the end of the hype or where I don't know the hype is going to end. If you're going to play this, pay attention to Reddit. Start looking at Reddit and start looking for these telltale signs of what is loading up, what has a high short flow, and where they're going to be attacking again, because you want to get in before it starts going up 100 to 100%, 200% in the last 2 weeks. So this is a little bit of insight from myself, what I thought when I was reading this article. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Absolutely love you guys. Smash that subscribe button, hit the comment button. Leave me something good. I love sharing this information with you guys. I love just shooting the shit with you guys. So without further ado, it's my stock life or no life, baby. We're going to come back with another video tomorrow. So hit that subscribe and turn on notifications to stay tuned for the next one. And if you're looking at playing AMC, I don't know. I'm staying away from this thing with a 10-foot pole. We can go ahead and pull up the chart for you before we get out of here. But look here. This is the first pop in February when it just popped over to like 20 bucks. Boom. Came straight back down. So if you're, look at this. If you were holding the bag right here, you're hurting in less than 2 weeks. What is that? About 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks. Bam. You lost. If you bought up here, you lost 75% of your investment. 75% off rip. And now, unless your balls of steel McGee, you're not happy with that. And then it comes up over here, we're basing, boom, rocket ship up. What are we gonna do? When does the crash come down? If there even is a crash, or does it keep going up? Look, at post market is at $37. We're at all-time highs right here. Where does the top hit? What is going to happen? Who knows? I don't have an answer for that. Nobody's seen tomorrow. I'm personally not playing this for the reason that I stated earlier. It's too volatile in the options. I don't like playing the options when it's something like this. The IV is absolutely ridiculous. You need to have so much of a move to make money on your contracts. So without further ado, again, I love you guys so much. I'm staying away from this thing for a little bit. I might be called a shill, whatever, guys. I don't really care. I love you guys so much. Without further ado, my stock life or no life. Have a wonderful day, guys. Until next time, I'll see you again.